Does the right hairbrush actually make a difference? Let me tell you. I never used to think that a hairbrush could make a whole lot of difference. I thought a hairbrush was a hairbrush and they were all pretty much the same. And then as I became a hairstylist and I started working with different types of hairbrushes, I realized just how different they all are and how much better it is when you find the right hairbrushes for your hair type. So today I'm going to show you my favorite hairbrushes for my hair type, which is very fine and moderately thin. So these are the hairbrushes that I like best for that hair type, but honestly, they are also the hairbrushes that I use on almost all of my clients because they're just my favorite hairbrushes in general. And while there are some other hairbrushes that people with different hair types might really like, I'm pretty sure that anyone with any hair type would really enjoy these hairbrushes and find they give them all the same benefits. We're going to start off with just my regular everyday hairbrush, the brush that I'm going to brush my hair with every day, whether it's wet, dry, doesn't matter. It's going to be a detangling hairbrush. So these are the two different detangling hairbrushes that I use. This one is a wet brush. It is from the brand Wet Brush Pro. And this one is another detangling brush and is from the brand Framer. So they are both professional brands. They're both nice hairbrushes. You can still get both though, I think at most retailers. It's not like it's a professional only product or anything. It's just they are professional brands and they both work very, very similarly in that they have very flexible bristles that are going to really gently detangle the hair without ripping knots. They might not look a lot different than like a typical hairbrush, but I promise, try a detangling brush next to your regular hairbrush with plastic prongs, but they won't be as flexible, they won't be as long. You will notice a difference. And once you have used a detangling brush instead of a regular hairbrush, you will not be able to go back because these are so much more gentle and brush out your hair so much more easily. It's actually crazy. I typically don't brush my hair when it's wet, but if I do, these are definitely a must. That's what the wet brush was originally designed for, was brushing out wet, tangly hair to minimize breakage. It won't rip the hair as long as you're using it properly, detangling from the ends up. But I do find also that even on dry hair, they just brush through any little knots you have so well and really damage the hair the least out of any paddle brush that I've ever used. Now, I'm not sure, I don't think Framer has this option, but the wet brush also comes with some that also have boar bristles incorporated in, and that will also add a lot of shine and is really good if you're trying to get a lot of smoothness or do a lot of smooth styles in your hair. I don't currently have one of those. I did, but eventually the bristles get worn out and it stops working as well. You can tell when it stops working as well because it's going to start to pull and snag in your hair more and just not do as good of a job at brushing out your hair, and that's when you need to replace it. A lot of those bristles will start to get bent, get too loose, or get pushed in, and then you'll know you need to replace it. So I did recently just have to throw away my wet brush that had the boar bristles in it as well, and I haven't replaced it yet, but that's also a great option that I like to have. But I like to have both because I don't necessarily use the boar bristle one all the time, more so when I'm styling my hair, and when I'm just brushing my hair, I prefer this one or this one. Next brush slash comb that I really like to have with my fine hair is a tail comb. I use these a lot for different styles. I don't use it for brushing my hair typically because a comb is going to be really tricky to brush your fine hair with. It's likely going to cause a lot of ripping and breakage, but I really like it for teasing, and I love the tail comb for styling and for parting, and I love the fine tooth comb for creating really precise parts in the hair. It's just a really good tool for that, and it works a lot better than trying to part your hair with a brush. So for me, in fine hair, if you like to style your hair, a tail comb is a must. And I prefer a tail comb with a metal tail than the plastic one. I find them a little easier to work with. They're a little bit more precise. You're gonna have an easier time getting it where you want it to be, but you could use one with a plastic tail as well if you really wanted to. Next, I love to have a boar bristle brush. So this is two different boar bristle brushes. This is my older one and the one I used to use, and then I recently was gifted this one by the Smooth company, and I love it because it's curved. So other than the curve, they're essentially the same, just boar bristles on a wooden handle, but what these are good for is slicked back styles. you are going to be able to get a super smooth, slick back without bumps and lumps with a Boar bristle brush much more efficiently than you're going to be able to do it with a brush. You're just not going to get the same smooth finish as you are with that Boar bristle brush. A flat one does work super well, but the curved one definitely makes your life a little bit easier, really getting around the contours of the head. A Boar bristle brush can also add a ton of shine to the hair, but they are not great at detangling. So it is a brush that I use after I've already detangled my hair with my detangling hairbrush. The last one that I love is a round brush. There's lots of different types of round brushes. They all serve different purposes, but I do find for this hair type and for the type of finish that most people are liking these days with a round brush blowout is a ceramic brush with the metal spiky things, the metal bristles. Bristles is the word I'm looking for. The metal bristles. The ceramic plate is going to get nice and hot. It's going to really help to smooth and shape your hair, and the bristles are going to do a great job at creating shape and smoothness as well. There are Boar bristle options. I find them a little harder to work with, especially if you're not used to it, and I just don't like them as much. I do think that for me specifically, on myself and on my clients, I prefer a ceramic brush with the metal or plastic. I guess they're plastic, not metal, but they're hard bristles, not the softer Boar bristle like this. And my preference for brand, I really like the Olivia Garden brushes. I do have some of them in my Amazon storefront. They come in different sizes. This is the medium size. It's the 45. If you're just gonna get one, this is the one I suggest. It's the most versatile, but there are smaller and bigger. The smaller, the more curl you're going to get with it, the bigger, the more volume, but I do love a brush. This is definitely a more advanced tool though, and if you're just starting to learn how to style your hair, you might not want to start with a round brush. A round brush blow dryer is a little bit easier to use because it is a bit of a learning curve to learn how to manipulate your hair with the brush and the blow dryer at the same time. But once you get there, this type of brush and Olivia Garden is my preferred brand. And I've tried a lot, but I really do like the Olivia Garden. They're a little bit more expensive, but they actually do work better. I didn't believe they were better until I finally got one because my old brush broke, the handle broke off and I had to replace it. So I thought, I'll just get it in Olivia Garden. I had no problems with my old brushes. They were babeless, they were professional. They did a great job. There was nothing wrong with them, but this was better. I didn't know it could be better, but it was better. So I really like these now and I have them in all the different sizes. I hope that helps. That is literally the only hairbrushes I use in my hair. I don't do anything. I don't use any other kind of brush in my hair other than my blow dry hairbrush combination. You know, it's like that oval shaped one. Revlon is a really popular brand, but you can get all kinds of different brands of them. I do have them in my Amazon storefront. I try not to use it too much though because they can damage your hair. I try to avoid too much direct heat on my hair, but I don't know if that really qualifies as a hairbrush because it's more of a styling tool, a hot tool, than a hairbrush, so I left that one out. But those hairbrushes are the only ones that I use in my hair on a regular basis. I can't even think of another hairbrush. Maybe a wide tooth comb occasionally to comb out curls, but I typically prefer to shake out and comb out my curls with my fingers. So those are the brushes that I use. Those are the brushes that I recommend. Those are the brushes that I think are the most beneficial to the majority of you out there watching and wanting to style your own hair at home. I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions and I can answer those for you. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. I love having you here with me and I love helping you all with your hair. I love helping you love your hair. Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. Bye, guys.